Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome to something slightly different today. Now, I don't normally do first-person shooters, but when I saw this, I felt like I wanted to give it a go because I was a sort of die-hard Rainbow Six sort of fan, and it has similarities. It's not, totally like it by any means. It's more of a up to today's date, I would say, and it's got some different sort of first-person shooter aspects to it. And what I mean by that is there's sort of like as the sort of level progresses, the map reshapes itself, either being by moving, like platforms lifting up and the actual map moving around, or it could be day and night cycle changing or something on the lines of that. So it's pretty interesting. I gave it a go. Few little observations I made. Now, first of all, you sort of have this visor on your head now, and you can lift this visor up, but I don't know if it actually gives you some sort of health increase, because it really just sort of gets in the way. I like the immersion part of it, and maybe it's for that reason. Now, obviously, like most first-person shooters, headshots are a must. If shooting from long range, at the moment, I was sort of playing about with aimbots, not thinking that are people using aimbots, because shooting across the map and headshotting someone in one bullet, right, is pretty much, I'm not going to say impossible, but it's bloody hard, guys, because you've got sway. If you're holding the gun still, you've got sway on the gun. So shooting someone across the map when we've all got the same gun, let me just point that out, just seems a little bit odd. And there is a lot of videos online about aimbots, and there's been a lot of stuff reported on the forum about it. And there's even a tannoy inside the game saying, if you're caught, using cheats, you get banned, blah, blah, blah. So that's the only sort of question mark I've got over it. But actually, do you know what? I actually quite enjoyed it. It's pretty good fun. It's not easy, by any means. It's quite tactical, capping at the moment. My plan was, I was thinking here, look, if I just hide, that was what I was initially going to do. Just cap it out, and if they die, fair enough. But I felt like I should shoot at the same time. There's a guy around here as well doing the same thing. Now, you can either cap, or you can obviously kill, or let the time run out. Same as usual, really. Nothing really special there, but quite enjoyed it. Not many guns in the game as it goes, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes further on down the line. The other thing I found is don't stand still. If you stand still, you're just going to die. Now, one of the things I did find a little bit odd about it, is you can't fire from the hip. Someone could be standing in front of you and you could fire from the hip and they just wouldn't die. You have to use the scope, even when they're standing directly in front of you. I don't know if I like that or not, because it seems a bit daft. If someone's in front of me and I'm firing the gun, surely they would die. That's what you'd like to think, wouldn't you? But that's not the case. Just trying to be a burst fire. I thought we'll give that a go. Just try. I was just playing about with it. Literally just installed it. I haven't been playing it that long, so I've got up to about rank 10, I think. It's got sort of just a basic ranking system. All the guns are not in the game. I think it's actually on the Steam now. It's supposed to come out on the 10th. Come out on the Steam library. You can buy it online, pretty blooming cheap, guys. We're talking seriously cheap. But sort of like it so far. What do I like about it? I'm not too sure about the aiming down the sight. I know. Don't get me wrong. It's just close quarters combat is very difficult, because I'm going to give you a scenario. A guy come around the corner, scoped in like this, and I moved back, and he come around the corner, scoping around the corner. He didn't even see me because he's in scope mode. So it's a bit, I don't know what they're going to do about that, but they have to do something, because it just makes it very difficult. Maybe that's more realistic. Rainbow Six was originally like that, so I suppose you could say, I think the issue is maybe the ACOG site, the site we're actually using. I think we need different sites with a smaller surround. It makes things a little bit easier, because it does get in the way a little bit when you're zoomed in. So it'd be nicer to have that element of less surround, if you know what I mean. And maybe just a iron sight are probably better for me. I prefer an iron sight over this scope by any means. Same sort of one you get in Armour 3. Now that guy was shooting me, so I'm going to come back. Yeah, job's a good one. So next round, chopped up the last round, guys, because the video was going to run on for quite a bit, so I've just edited it all out, just to sort of give you a good idea of what the game's about. I'm doing alright. I'm by far a problem I have in most first-person shooters is holding my aim, keeping the red dot head height. Subconsciously I'm always running at body height, which is a major issue in this game. You've got to run that cursor at head height. If you come around the corner, you've got to all the time keep that red dot on their head. If you do that, you know you're going to be good. Now, one of the other things I did notice about it, if you look at the matchmaking here, which is slightly irritating, which they need to do something about, is the fact that, yeah, someone who's ranked 62 can actually go on the other team against 4 or 5 people with 0. Which does seem a bit odd, you know what I mean? You would have thought they would just make basic calculation of score and then factor that in. But I think the problem they've got at the moment, I'm going to say it's a problem that, you know, it's not a blockbuster game by any means. It's there doesn't seem to be many servers. I think there's about, from what I can see in the list, 10. So, you know, don't get me wrong, this is... Maybe that's why, I suppose, if they did sort of matchmaking like that, then there'd be just one person in the match. But, you know, I enjoy it. It's been pretty good fun. Long range shooting's borderline impossible, but... What gets really hard, I'm straining to even see these now. Later on in the game, when the night cycles change, it goes pitch black. And when it goes pitch black in the game, you've got a choice of actually turning on your torch. Now, it's like DayZ, innit? You turn your torch on, you're saying I'm over here. So everyone's running around in pitch black, looking for muzzle flashes, you know what I mean? Quite funny. A good example of what I was saying earlier, watch this when this guy comes around the corner now, look, watch. He's looking around the corner, look. See what I mean? And that's the... I'm not saying it's an issue, but that's the challenge you got in the game. Maybe he should have covered his angles better. So this is a long shot now, and this is why it's very difficult. You don't want to stand out too long on the long shots. Very difficult. Just trying to keep the pointer at head height. I think if I played for a longer period of time, if I got to rank 60, or, you know... My key thing was, once again, keeping that head height. That was my problem. So that's even at the moment, I'm not quite head height. I'm just sort of shoulder height. Try and flank this guy. Oh, we're dead. Now, obviously, you can... the idea is to cap, but this is a really tough map because... You're going to see why. There's a lot of them, I'm not saying, there's not a lot of camping in this. I mean, you do get the odd camping, but you can't camp for long. Got myself in a bit of a pickle here, unfortunately. I didn't realise there was about 4 guys to my left. Unfortunately. Now, a couple of the challenges is obviously once you're in the cap zone or they're in the cap zone, obviously they're going to camp in the cap zone, so it's very hard getting into the cap zone. And if they're defending the approach, it's very difficult to take over the cap. Very, very difficult. And this is a tactical shooter at the end of the day. Would I buy it? I know I've bought it, but would I recommend buying it? Yeah, I would actually. I would say, yeah. I mean, if it's pretty cheap, just to give it a go. I actually tried to download. I'm thinking about going and buying the pack for Rainbow Six and crack on with the old, you know. I think they do like a massive pack at the moment with about 5, or pretty much 4 of the Rainbow Sixes, including Vegas as well. So I'm thinking about, you know, downloading that as well and giving that a go and see, sort of just to refresh my memory really, to see, you know, to remember what it was like. Because, you know, over a period of time after playing loads and loads of games, sort of got a bit, my thoughts have got a bit distorted on what actually really, you know, my expectations are of a really good first-person shooter. Well, I enjoy. I mean, it's each their own. Other people, you know, prefer different types of shooters, but. Sound effects are good. Visuals are pretty good. They're still updating it. They're adding loads of stuff in the game anyway, so it's not like they're done by any means. There we go. You see that tannoy there? He just went past. That was the ban message. Tried with burst fire. I did a bit of training before. Well, my own training. I went into a normal sort of room and hip fired. I even tried putting a dot on the screen, in the centre of the screen, to try that from hip, and even that doesn't work. Well, that's what I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, it's not even accurate in the slightest. You know, you couldn't be more inaccurate if you tried. Burst firing seems to be, like I said, if I played this over a long period of time, I'll practice burst firing headshots. And I think if you master that in this game, then, you know, well, I say any first-person shooter is going to work well on it. It goes quite... When you sort of lose a lot of your help, you go into sort of obviously a red mode where obviously you take a hit, you're going to die. And if you wait a set amount of time, then he rejuvenates his health. But while that's happening, you sort of lose sound and everything. You've just got to wait a while and then it comes back. Now you have crouch as well, but this is pretty fast paced for a shooter. So getting the time to crouch really doesn't really come round. Like I said, if someone comes strafing out, you don't want to stand still. That's what's really difficult, guys. That sort of scenario. Do you see what I mean? Really difficult. This is really difficult now because I know if I advance that they're coming out the cap down there, so you're going to die anyway. Unless someone comes or a big group of us go that way. So I'm looking over here now, looking at the map. I can see that quite a few of them are forward. So, you know, I can attempt this or I can cut through the middle. Probably should have... I'll maybe reduce my burst down a little bit. So it's more of a... rather than firing like 5 or 6 shots, maybe just try 2 or 3 at a time. Now there is a lot of recoil as well. As I say, I went into that training room and I fired at the wall as well. And I did, you know, hold the fire button down. And then you can see sort of the gun rising, and it's quite... there's a lot of recoil on the weapon when you obviously hold it down, particularly with this rifle. I don't know what the other guns are like yet because they're not in the game yet. I mean, was he in scope mode? He probably was, but you got such a acute angle to miss me. I suppose if he was aiming for my head, it would have been 1 bullet and I was dead. That's why he probably nailed me. Taking the centre room now, so it's not as bad. That's the worst scenario. Most of the time I die, is when I'm in close combat like that. I really struggle. Particularly because you sort of want to zoom. You know you got to zoom, but it's just when you zoomed, it's just, you know, you feel like looking the wrong way. So this match is nearly over anyway, it's coming to the end. We've got a guy up there just not moving, which is not helping either. I'm going to jump to another map. I've got a little bit more just to show you another bit of different type of terrain. I'm going out there. So him by ducking there actually done me a favour because my disadvantage is I'm always shooting at the body height. So the fact that he was crouching did me a favour because that was where I was aiming anyway. So this is one of the other maps. There's quite a few maps. There's about 5 or 6 different maps. This is sort of like a snowy sort of terrain one. I haven't really showed you any night one really because it's pitch black. You cannot see in front of your face, guys. But it's supposed to be like that at the end of the day. It's pretty good. Like it's good. Like you know, it's not actually that bad as you think. It is very hard. I'm expecting to run across this field now because it's the only way for them to get over the other side. Let him go first. Go on, mate. Have him go around the corner. Okay, he'll go. Chicken. This is going to end in tears, I bet you. We've got this. So if I move in the cap now. Shut this guy out. Oh, I should have started capping over the other side, shouldn't I? This would be pretty good if you had a good group of your mates. I think if you were all talking, it'd probably be a lot better. If you had maybe 6 or 7 of your friends maybe in one game, the fact that you would be communicating would probably give you that massive advantage over the games. There's no doubt about that. Because, tactical shooters, if you're communicating, then good chance that you're going to dominate the round. And if the fact that the other team are not communicating at all, well... yeah, that's close. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, not a long video today, just want to give you an insight. Is it worth getting? Definitely give it a go, guys. I quite enjoyed it. I'm going to still rank up. I'm about 10 at the moment, 10, 11, or I think I'm about 12 now. I'll go up to about 20 and might do another video, all depending on what I feel about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.